Hello. Hi, Stevie. Hi, Michael. Good morning. Good morning. How is everyone on this lovely day? I think it's lovely. Um, how are you all doing? Okay, let me see. Carol, I feel like I haven't seen you for so long. And Sharon, hi. Wow. Yeah, it's not usual for me to not see you, Carol, or Sharon for that matter. Um, all right. Well, who else is here? Because you guys are all pretty strong. I take into account who's here and what issues they have in their tissues because um, I want to make this accessible for everyone. And what I've noticed over the years in teaching is that if something becomes too challenging, it's really easy to say that's not for me. And as we age and we start to develop issues in our tissues, if we're too challenged physically, we get very cautious and nervous about proceeding with what we're doing. So I would say that one of the most important things to me is that when I am teaching, knowing who's in that space, that I share what's appropriate for those that are there. And then, of course, there's some that are, stronger or don't have any issues. And then there's some that do. So I really love to know who's with me. And so seeing who's here so far, I'm like, oh, wow, let's do side plank and let's go crazy. That's how I think of you all. Okay. So the names that I see here, super, super, super strong. And now it's about challenging yourself to the maximum you can to stay strong in your muscles, your bones, your joints, balance, alignment, everything, and to make sure it's safe, right? So that you don't do any damage to aging tissues that, anybody over out of their 40s has potential of injury. I mean, we all have potential of injury, but when you're young and 20 and whatever, there's so much more loosey juiciness to tissues that they don't quite tear and have damage the way they do when we're getting older. And I know you guys might look at me and say, "Oh, she doesn't know anything yet. Just wait." But don't forget, in my 40s, my level of arthritis was almost at a level 4, which is as bad as it gets when it comes to arthritis. So it doesn't matter how old you are. Um, so anyway, yeah, glad that you're here, Stevie. All right, well, then I think that I might kind of shift things a little bit today from what I was thinking of doing to what I'm doing. And anyone that's here that is not in the category of what I'm speaking of, don't worry, because it's all about balancing. All right, I want to share. Well, all of you that are here actually have my email. In honor of National Bone Health Awareness Month, which is May, I am putting together a fun little campaign. I've never really done anything like this. It's a challenge. And I'm going to have Facebook interaction for 5 days straight. So I'll be on there answering questions because, we're off next week, right? So we are off. I'm not teaching any live classes next week. And what I'm doing instead is doing this 5-day challenge. So you'll sign up for my challenge, you'll receive a welcome email, and then there's going to be 5 days of challenges, something to challenge ourselves with. And challenge meaning doing either to your maximum capacity or a little bit beyond. And it'll be exciting to share photos of ourselves doing that or to share our experiences. Because I think that's important. I think of the knowledge I have is what I experience with those of you that have been with me for years and years, like Karen and Cheryl. I mean, sorry, Sharon and Carol, and probably even Stevie. I mean, has it been 7 years? Has it been since like 2015? I started teaching in 2014 at Torrance Memorial Medical Center in Los Angeles. So has it been 7 or 8 years? I mean, that's crazy. And Michael, it's been a lot of years for you as well, right? So that's crazy. So anyway, so email me, Debbie@DebbieRobinson.com, and let me know that you want to be on that list. And then you'll start to get those emails every day. And I would love to see photos. I already have great photos of Sharon and Carol in their postures at home. And so I would love to see more of you. All right. So I'm going to go back and teach. I don't know who else is here, but I'm going to, I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know what I'm going to do, but I'm going to do something. All right. Actually, I think I know what I'm going to do. Let me see. I'm going to get my bolster. Facebook or Instagram. You don't have to be on Facebook. Stevie asked us, do we have to be on Facebook? No, you don't have to be on Facebook. The Facebook is the interactive part, Stevie. That's a really good question because somebody else asked that question. And I don't do a lot on Facebook in terms of my personal page. I do things on pages that are more business related or private group related. So this will be a group that I'm creating called Healthy Bones Lifestyle that actually I have to let people into it. So I will have a little bit of monitoring on this group. So I will also have Instagram. So I don't know if you have Instagram and you have an iPad, so you could have Instagram. And I'll think about other things as well. Like what else? I just want a place where for 5 days I go on every day and I'm interactive and I share things. I'll actually be driving to Colorado. So I'm going to be staying in Bryce Canyon for 2 or 3 days. So I'm hoping to take a lot of great photos in Bryce Canyon that I'm going to be saying, look, here I am challenging my bones, trying to not fall off this big rock or whatever it is. And I know that when I say that, Michael, you're a big traveler of this country, national park. So you probably have been there and would have some memories of that. So I don't know, Stevie, we'll see about that. I don't know if you have access to Instagram, but anyway. All right. So yoga for wellness. Yoga for wellness, yoga to keep ourselves happy, healthy, and strong forever. That is going to be my focus. I want you to do whatever you can do. That means the range of motion your joints bend is whatever your body does. So think of it that way. Think of whatever I'm doing today. It's either the length of time that you stay in something, or it's the bend that comes into your joints for your body, for your abilities. So how deeply you bend is up to you. How long you stay is up to you. And do what's appropriate though. Okay, that's important. So if you're out of your 20s, start to be very cautious of what you do with your body and where you place it and what you do. And know that every day, if you show up and do something, that you're going to get stronger over time. You don't have to rush to get stronger quickly. And that's what I would say. So we're going to use, I'm bringing out a bolster because I think the bolster will be good for some of you, especially if you want to warm up slowly or you don't want to go down as far, as deep. Having the bolster will make it a little easier. For those of you that have a lot of range of motion in your body and a lot of strength and flexibility, then maybe not even having a bolster, you might not need one. But it is really nice to have a bolster, or I know that you might not have that. Having blankets that you fold. So if you didn't have a bolster, you could take a couple of extra blankets and fold 2 blankets on top of themselves like this, and that could be your bolster. Or you could get pillows from a bed, pillows from a sofa. So grab some props, because I like to begin in kind of a supported, elevated position, and then we're going to use it for some of the movement that we're going to do today. So grab something. It could be a pillow. You could even use a block. So if you didn't have that, let's see what we can do. The props that we use help to fill in spaces or gaps. It helps to fill in the spaces of where maybe you don't have quite as much range of motion in your joints, or you're protecting something in your body. All right, so let's just see. Let's do whatever. In India, when I practice yoga, we don't even have a mat. We don't have any props, because this practice was designed to keep this body functional forever, for our whole lives. So even if you don't have props, you'll do whatever you can do, all right? So a strap and a block, put those off to the side for later use. And then you're going to get your props. So I will begin mine today with an elevated bolster and a block, actually. So I'm going to begin like this, because I have these props. Yours could be a couple of pillows and maybe an extra pillow for your head, something so that we're not quite all the way down on the ground. And if you do need or want to start off on the ground, do that. The ground actually helps to ground the mental energy. So for some, either they need that to go down and to really ground everything, or for others, there's too much activity to just go down and lay down in a flat position. So choose you, choose your ideal. I'll give you a couple of different options of arriving into your practice today. Coming down onto whatever it is you've chosen. You could put your knees into a bent position. You could choose to have your legs straight, or you could even do a butterfly position, Baddha Konasana, which is the soles of the feet together. This is kind of a bigger opening, not quite as yummy relaxing, or maybe it is for some of you. And then arrange yourself with your eyes closed. Start to arrange your body. Bringing the shoulder blades closer to the spine is helpful. Supporting the back and the neck, or the neck and the back of the head if you need that. And then bringing the hands alongside the body, palms are up. When the palms are up, that's a receptive position. Let's receive all the goodness, all the healing that today's practice can bring to us. And let's allow ourselves to arrive. So close your eyes, close your mouth. Let your back teeth separate. Focus on your breath. Stay with your breath. Notice where your mind goes. Go into your body to the places that you may be holding tension. And see if you can relax and release and let go of tension in your body. If you need to move your body into a different position, choose a position that's relaxing. That when you let go of holding and tension, your body is in a relaxed position. Following your breath in and out your nose. Noticing your body. Let's inhale the word relaxation. Imagine that this word comes in and it goes to places where there's muscular tension or other tension in your body. So let your inner eyeballs search for where is there a place that relaxation could be very healing for you right now. Inhale relaxation. Adding on the exhale, exhale out tension. So you inhale the word relaxation, it softens, dislodges, dissolves tension. So when you exhale, you release that tension from your body. And then bring the awareness to your mind, to the very back part of your brain, right where the back of the top of your neck is. Bringing your awareness there. As you inhale, I want you to bring in the word relaxation. Let it go there to the invisible subconscious part of you. And on the exhale, release the word tension. Bringing in relaxation, releasing tension. Doesn't have to be anything you're aware of. This could be subconscious, invisible thoughts or patterns that exist for you. Inhale, relaxation. Exhale, tension. Wherever you are, finishing up a few more breaths like this, bringing relaxation to the primitive brain, the limbic brain, the part of you that is always keeping you safe, has been your whole life, and came to you from every grandmother, grandfather that came before you. Bring in relaxation, release tension. As you do the exhale and you do the releasing tension, feel the letting go, feel the sighing, feel the release, the relief of letting go. For these last couple of rounds, as you exhale and you let go of tension, I want you to sigh. So you inhale relaxation to the primitive brain, to the limbic loop. And on the exhale, with the word tension, is a sigh. Inhale relaxation. Exhale tension with a sigh. Few more rounds like that. How good it feels to let go. Noticing how this makes you feel. Does this give you free rein to be okay with letting go? Que sera, sera. Whatever will be, will be. Letting go, letting go. Letting what is be what it is. And I want you to smile. Smile at what peace feels like when you let go of everything you have no control over, everything that no longer matters to you in this lifetime. Maybe baggage that you've been carrying around from grandpa, whoever, grandma, whatever. Things you know, things you don't know. Let it go. Bring your awareness to your fingers, your toes, as you start to wiggle your fingers and wiggle your toes. Moving in whatever way feels appropriate for your body, preparing yourself to move out of this posture and move into the next. So do whatever you need to do to prepare your body, to raise your awareness to that activity that's about to happen, the movement, activating whatever muscles need to be activated to move your bones and your joints in the way that needs to be done to get you from this position to a seated position. Rolling towards the side or all the way onto your side is probably the best bet for you. And then bringing yourself to that seated position. Let's come into either a kneeling position if your knees will let you, or a crisscross leg position if that's more comfortable for your body. And notice how you feel. So what we just did was to come to the present moment, to realize that this is all we have control over. And when we do a sigh, that's actually an ingrained relaxation technique that we humans have. And it's actually a way to slow down the heart rate and to bring in or to let go, right? So if you're running around, I always think of shopping at the mall with a lot of bags, and over there is this big fuchsia pink, cushy looking sofa that I could run over to and plop myself down, which is funny because I don't even really shop like that. If you knew me, I am not that kind of person that does all that. So I don't even know why that just comes to mind. But I think about running, and then sitting down and plopping down on a big sofa and just letting go. And that's where the would come. So the sigh is actually an extended exhale, and it's a tool that we have. It's an extended exhale. It releases more toxins, more potential carbon dioxide buildup that was happening in the body. It's a way for the body to manage alkalinity or acidity in the blood. That extended exhale is the sound. The opposite of that would be that when your body needs more oxygen and it needs to bring in more oxygen, our tool that we have ingrained in us is to yawn. To bring in more oxygen. So let's use the yawn to bring in more oxygen. Let's use the exhale or the sigh to release what no longer serves us. And then I brought up this primitive brain of ours that's keeping us safe always, that you got from grandpa whoever and grandma whoever, from the first century, from the second century, from wherever. That's part of us. So all the stress and the way we react and the way we show up in our lives and what we hold in our tissues, the aches that we have here, the aches that we have here, the stuff in our back, most of it happens up here. It starts up here. So if we take the time out to bring in relaxation, to let go of tension, to use the exhales, to use the sigh, to sing the song, Que sera, sera, whatever will be, will be. That's how we're going to heal ourselves on a deep, deep level. And this is not hokey pokey. This is what Western medicine is starting to understand, that true illness starts up here, this chronic stress response inside of our bodies. So hopefully you learned some tools there. You'll start singing Que sera, sera. You'll start yawning and sighing all day long. And you'll plop yourself down in a supported position to find that relaxation in your body and in your mind. All right, enough hokey pokey, not hokey pokey, right? Enough true deep healing. Let's move on to the other stuff. Okay, all right, I don't know why I just threw away my bolster because I'm actually going to use that. So let me get that back. I'm going to bring my left foot forward because my left foot is the weakest side and I want to get up to get that bolster. It would be so easy for me to pop my right foot forward and just pop up because it's so easy for me. But because this is my hip replacement side and because it's my weaker side and it doesn't communicate as effectively, I'm going to do my left foot. You can see that it's not quite as easy. There's a lot of wobble wobble. Yet it is something that I'm super aware of. I don't just throw my bag of bones around. I don't just move. I actually do that with awareness. Okay, so get a bolster, get pillows or something so that we can do this nice little warm-up sequence. I'll do it with the bolster and then I'll take it away. So it could be a pillow, blankets, or you could take your block and put your block on the ground. So put your block here where your forehead would go. So let me show you what I'm doing. You figure it out for yourself. We're going to roll through our shoulders, roll through our hips, warm them up, and challenge the muscles that bend the joints. We're going to challenge our arm muscles here. We're going to challenge our leg muscles, our glute muscles, warming up the back. Really nice, beautiful little flow to get everything going. So this is the way that this works. A little side note, if you have osteoporosis, if you have spinal wedge fractures, and even if you don't, pay a lot of attention to this part of your spine, noticing whenever you're pushing it into itself. Noticing whenever your lower ribs are collapsing back towards your spine, noticing whenever your shoulders are rounding, and noticing whenever your head is flopping forward and not being held up by the muscles of the upper back and neck. So another little body awareness piece that you take into your life, take off your mat and into your life. So let's take our body into an all fours position. The hands are forward and start moving around in your joints. Maybe side to side, noticing how your shoulder feels, how your hips feel. If you take your pointer fingers and point them forward, you're actually going to open up the front of your shoulder. And then let's go back and forth, loading up the hip, rolling through the shoulders. Feel what's happening there in your body. How does this feel for you? And then let's see if you can start to stretch the low back. So this position here, sway back to horse, is called extension. My low back now, if you poured water in my back, it would puddle or pull in my low back. If you add flexion to the low back, push your belly up and start to flatten the low back up towards the sky. That's going to stretch the back muscles in between the lower ribs and the top of the pelvis. If you push the low back up and try to flatten the low back out. And if you do that when you move your body back, try this with me. You come to all fours, you push your belly button up towards your spine, flatten out your low back, and then you push yourself back a little bit, bending in your hip joints, trying to bring your belly closer to your top thighs, and then go forward. You should feel a stretch in your low back. You don't need a lot to feel that. And then go back, keep your tushy off of your heels if you have osteoporosis. Or you could let it go down to your heels because there will be a little bit of a flexion in the spine here, and that's only if you don't have osteoporosis. So the setup, let's start in our setup position. If you do not have osteoporosis and you're going to begin in a child's posture, you put your forehead at the end of your block or bolster, and your tushy comes close to your heels. If you have osteoporosis, you're going to start from puppy dog, keeping your low back pressing up towards the sky, and putting your forehead onto the bolster. Hands are stretched straight. Elbows are not bent. Keep your elbows straight. Spread your fingers. Let your toenails touch the ground. Take an exhale here. Inhale to come forward. Once your shoulders are above your wrists and your elbows, you're going to slowly bend your elbows in at the side of your body. Coming down, coming down. This is where the bolster is nice to have. You come all the way down, you're going to let yourself soften and relax. From here, you want to push your heart forward. Start to open up your throat. Keep your elbows bent alongside your body. Bend your spine, bend your back, stretch your front body. Feel that deep stretch in the front body. And then exhale, push the belly button up towards the spine. Flatten out that low back, point that tailbone down. Keep the head active and lifted. and bring yourself back on the exhale. Inhale, exhale to lower. Inhale, open your throat, open your chest, peel up off the ground or the bolster. Exhale, belly button up towards spine, bring yourself back. Inhale forward, exhale down. Inhale up, exhale back. Go slow, doesn't matter how deep you go in your joints, move your joints, do what's appropriate for you. We inhale when we open up our throat, when we stretch the front of our body. We exhale when we bend the hip joint, push the low back up towards the sky. You inhale to rise, lifting your head, bringing yourself up, unbending your joints. You exhale, bending your joints. Inhale, stretching. Exhale, bending. Inhale, unbending. Exhale, bending. Turn this into whatever is appropriate for you and your breath pattern. If you want to try to move the bolster off the side, now that you've done a couple, see if you can do that. It's going to be much more muscular work when you do this. More stretching. Do what's appropriate for you. Good for keeping your body in golfing and pickleball shape. And good for surfing and good for so many things. There's a lot of great movement patterns here going through the back bending. 2 more movements. One more. And then bring yourself up. Let's come all the way up and come into a seated position, whatever is relaxing for you. So of course, if the knees still bend and you can sit on your heels, try that. Otherwise, crisscross leg position, or if you have the bolster, you could sit on the bolster. Either sit with your tushy or straddle it like a horse. Close your eyes. Lots of stuff was compressed and moved through your system. Feel your heart beating here. Take your hands on your thighs, elbows are underneath your shoulders. Place one hand on top of the other, and then let your thumbs touch. Keep your mouth closed, breathing in through your nose. Notice your heart rate. Take one more breath. Blinking your eyes open. So doing whatever range of motion works for you in what we're doing today. So bring your blanket underneath your knees and bring your hands on the mat. Now, one thing I'd like to say is that you could try fists for wrists if your wrists are bothering you, or you could get wedges or roll up the front of your mat so that you minimize the pressure on your wrists. It is important to keep them strong. So let's do whatever's appropriate for you. Take one foot back, stretch that foot, and take the other foot back and stretch that. Feel that calf stretch, the ankle stretch, keeping your feet limber, your Achilles tendon stretched, your calf muscles stretched. And then let's take the hands where you stretch the wrists. So you could do this on the ground where you have the backs of the hands on the floor and the palms are facing straight up towards you. Now that's hard for some of you. For some of you, you may need to come up here and do this where you bend so the palm's facing you and you're pressing the back of the hand, not at the fingers, but on the hand. So you may need to come up here and do this, or you may be able to do this where you have the palms facing upwards and you let your body go back a little. It's pretty intense. So it's not for everyone, I know. And then we're going to do the opposite. So now you're going to take the palms on the ground, fingers point towards the kneecaps. The eye of the elbow is pointing away from you, and so is the wrist. If you're in a, if you need to come up, you do this. You push the hand back towards you, the palms facing that way now. So you do whatever you can to stretch your wrist to help distribute that tension. I think having the knees spread a little bit wider actually helps here because it just does. You know, triangle is the strongest shape in nature. And then moving in whatever way feels appropriate. So you feel stretch in the lower forearm area, right around the wrist, maybe even up towards the elbows. And then bend your fingers. Bend your fingers. So if you can come on the ground, come on the ground. If not, bend your fingers like this. Bend your thumb, bend your fingers. And then let's all come onto our fingers and do a little walking around on the fingers. We really got to keep some strength in the hands here. So maybe a little crawling forward and backwards. And then bring yourself back to center. Shake, shake, shake your hands. Let them be pretty shaky. Let the wrists flop. Let your arms shake. Be okay with whatever else you feel shaking. Stored energy, maybe. Just feel that. Feel how you're buzzing. Feels nice, right? Okay, let's move on to some strengthening aspects here. So I want to do plank and side plank. So we're going to do 3 breaths, 3 breaths, 3 breaths, and 3 breaths. Okay, pretty intense. It will be very intense. For some of you, you could do that because that's a really intense. That would be like super strong, super hard. For others, you could come on to the dolphin version. 3 breaths, 3 breaths, 3 breaths, 3 breaths. Okay. For others, you could do 3 breaths, 3 breaths, 3 breaths, 3 breaths. Okay. I gave you lots of variations. Dolphin, modified plank, and regular plank. So whatever is appropriate for you. At your age, at your stage, at your issues in your tissues, today versus yesterday, today versus tomorrow, wherever you're at, do what's appropriate. All right, and we're all in this together. So it's super hard for me to do this, but we're going to do it. Okay, so come forward, take your hands underneath your shoulders or wherever you're going to begin. Let's take 1 foot back and then the other for 3 breaths. You move with your breaths. My breaths might be slower. Moving on to one hand, you're going to have your feet touching, lift your pelvis up, roll onto the side, whatever that means for you, 3 breaths. Coming through center, 3 breaths. Feet are together, rolling, lifting your pelvis. Bring yourself onto your side, 3 breaths. Bring yourself to center. Bring your feet on the ground. And let's come into a rest position. You could either sit up or come into puppy dog. Hands are forward. You're going to bend your hips so your belly comes closer to your top thighs. Let your forehead rest on the floor and breathe. Bringing yourself up, walking your hands back. Bring yourself all the way up. And noticing how you feel. So the stronger postures use more energy in the body. They use more muscles and more energy. So one thing I would say is one way to really monitor what's effective for you in terms of strengthening and doing some of the stronger postures is to notice how you feel after you do your practice. You should still have energy throughout the day and not burn through and use a lot of your internal energy. And also make sure that that day you eat more fuel, more healthy foods that are going to supply energy. And make sure you manage this, because this goes through a lot of your fuel, your stored energy. The thoughts utilize a lot of the stored energy that's in the body. And not in a good way of getting rid of the stored energy that we have like laying around. It actually puts down more stored energy because it's preparing for even more times that it's going to need to use the internal storage. All right. So let's stretch the side body. Bring your foot out to the side. This is gate latch pose. I really like this posture because it has a lot of facets to it that I think are really great for maintaining a really strong body. The first thing would be is to try to get your toes to point forward, and that can be really hard for those that have tightness in their feet, tightness in their ankles. So one thing is to try to get a parallel pinky toe edge with the ground. Also to try to get the leg to come straight off the body. So these are goals you move towards to get the function to come into the joints. So let's do a little movement here, side to side. One of the glute muscles is on the side of your body. It's called glute medius. And the glute that's on the side of the body, it lifts the leg away from the body, called abduction. And it also is a major stabilizing muscle. So for stability when it comes to balance, this muscle here, glute med, really important muscle group. So let's stretch it right now. You may even feel that stretching. Let's make sure that your foot doesn't collapse. So don't let your arch go down to the ground and the side of your foot lift off. You want to really make that firm connection. Maybe you're feeling a stretch on the side of your leg. Really good to keep that nice and limber so you can have dancing ankles and have really strong balance, because that's what's going to prevent fractures and falls, or falling more gracefully, or the body absorbing a slip, trip, or stumble. So getting your pelvis to be in alignment so that if there was water in your pelvis, there's no spillage on the sides. And maybe you feel that stretch here. Now we're going to stretch this side of the body, so the standing leg side. Take this hand down the leg, whatever side this is for you. Take your opposite hand, palm is open. Take an exhale, and then inhale. If your arm reaches all the way up, try to reach your arm up. If the arm doesn't, you could bend your elbow, or you could move your body without even lifting the arm. So do what's appropriate for you. Reach up with your fingers or your elbow, reach down with your hand. Stretch the heck out of that side of your body. And then push your heart forward, open your throat. Deep inhales all the way down to your feet. Take one more breath. And then go ahead and bring yourself out. Let your body absorb and receive what you just did. Take a break, either stay up here or down on your heels. So we're not just moving through one thing and the other and one thing and the other. We're giving our body a chance to calibrate and to receive and to absorb. And then go ahead and bring yourself up. We're going to give our body a chance to imprint safe, healthy, functional movement into the body. And that's what happens when we slow down, is we can notice and do what we need to really create good function. The foot, try to get it to come straight off of your body. Try to get the toes to point forward. Working in the joints that will allow this to happen: ankle joint, hip joint. And then some of that tension may be tension that's in the torso or in the pelvis. So wherever it is for you. So a little sway with the hips can help to introduce that movement here in the hip joint and maybe even inner thigh. And then settle. Bring your pelvis to a position so if it did have water in it, it's not tipping to the side or forward or back. Tailbone down towards the ground. Take your hand down that leg, the opposite hand to the side, palms up. Take an exhale. And then inhale to lift up. And reach your hand down your leg. Remember, if you need to bend your elbow or do it without lifting your arm, that's also a choice. Press your heart forward. Try to keep your arm alongside your body. Feel the stretch. Deep breaths down to your feet. One more breath. And then go ahead and bring yourself out. Allow the integration and the absorption to take place either here or down here. Eyes could be open or eyes could be closed. Take one more breath. Bring your awareness to your head. You push the ear straight up towards the sky on the inhale. Back to center, straight up towards the sky on the inhale. Exhale, back to center. Stretching your neck. Releasing tension from the upper body. Take your shoulders, press your shoulders away from your ears, and make sure your elbows are underneath your shoulders to support your posture. Whether you're here sitting on your heels or you're kneeling on your shins. Bring yourself back to center, a little rotation side to side. Back to center, teeth are together. Inhale, exhale, chin straight down towards the chest. Keep your elbows underneath your shoulders. Inhale, chin up towards the sky. Close your eyes. Feel your upper back and neck stretching. One more. Bring yourself back to center. It's important to release the tension in the upper back and neck because whatever we're doing below, so much tension gets stored here. And the jaw is a big aspect of tension, the clenching, the bracing that happens in the body. Part of that protection against whatever's happening, whether it's real or perceived danger, there's a tension that comes into the jaw. And that can be also in the head and neck and upper back area. So doing those neck releases, those are the 6 movements of the neck: lateral flexion or side bending, rotation, and flexion and extension. I do those often because I think it's really nice to release tension in the upper part of the body. Okay, so have your blanket folded on the floor if it's not already. We're going to come down into the ground. You want your pelvic bones to be supported by the blanket. So you're going to bring yourself forward, forward. Keep your hands pretty close together, forward, forward, till you come down onto one elbow, then you come down onto the other elbow. Press the tops of your feet into the ground, and then you're going to push your low back up towards the sky. So you have your elbows underneath your shoulders, your head is lifted. It could be parallel to the upper back. You don't have to lift it higher than that. The knees are on the floor, the shins are trying to touch the floor, top of the feet are touching the floor. And you're pressing the low back up towards the sky, the lower ribs towards the spine, pushing the heart towards the floor so you're not rounding the thoracic spine, keeping the front of your spine open, just letting the lower ribs press towards the spine, but not a real deep flexion here. Take one more breath. And then bring your pelvis towards the ground. Keep your arms where they are. Press your rib cage down, open your throat. Feel a stretch in the low belly. Take the feet a little bit wider than your body toenails are touching. Exhale. Inhale. Look over one shoulder towards the foot. Go slow. And then come back to center. Inhale to look over the other foot. Close your eyes. Feel the body stretch, and especially the psoas. Right by the belly, by either side of the spine, when you rotate your head to the side and you add rotational forces to the upper spine, you'll feel a stretch in the psoas. Maybe in the back, maybe somewhere else. Let your pelvis be heavy and soft. Let your belly be soft. Let this gentle action of rotation in the upper trunk stretch the middle part of your body. And then bring yourself back to center. With length, come all the way down onto the ground. So you're lengthening your spine. Take your elbows out to the side. Let your toenails touch the ground and let the back of your head rest on the back of the hands. Breathe down to your belly. So that the lower ribs, breathe below the ribs, breathe to the belly. So I'd like to stretch the quadriceps, and I'm going to give you a couple of different options. So let's take the left foot, start to bend the left knee, and bring the left heel towards the tushy as close as you can. And then reach around with your left hand and see if you could grab the top of the left foot or the back of the pants or the back of the sock. And then rest your head on top of your right hand, pulling the heel towards the tushy. And then for those of you that are not even anywhere near that, take your right hand up and away from you, roll onto your side, and see if you can grab your leg that way and do your quadricep stretch in this position. So for those that can't do it on the ground, it may be a little bit easier to come here and to do it when you're off the ground. You'd have your arms straight or cradling your head. So you choose what is the appropriate movement for your body, the range of motion in your joints. Either on your belly, bringing the heel closer to the tushy, or rolling onto your side and getting pants, socks, shorts, or the foot. Take one more breath. And then bring yourself back to neutral. Bring your hands back, breathing down to the belly. We're going to do the other side. So you're slowly going to start to bend the right knee. Draw the right heel closer to the tushy. When you get as close as you can get, you're going to try to bring the right hand to hold on to the right foot, the right pants, the right sock, whatever, or rolling onto your side if you need to do that variation. Breathe down to your belly. Take one more breath. And then you're going to bring your leg all the way straight. Come back onto your belly. Fold your hands. Breathe down to your belly. So I'm going to teach something that I have not taught in a long, long time. I don't think I've done this at all since 2020, teaching virtually. Maybe I have, I just don't remember, but not very often. It's called bow pose. And what we just did is we warmed up either side for that. And what this does is this posture stretches the front of the body. It's a strong back bend, stretching the front of the body. So not all of you will be able to do this. The key for this is when you hold your legs, and it would need to be that you hold the feet. So it needs to be where the legs attach to the foot, right in the front of the ankle, that you're able to reach back and hold your feet. And in order to come up and let's do 3 breaths here. You push your feet into your hands. Let that bring your body away from the ground and take 3 deep breaths. And then go ahead and bring yourself down. Legs are straight. Spread your legs, all of us, spread your legs as wide as your mat, and then flip your toes so that you're on the big toe edges of your feet. It's called crocodile. It's a total external rotation for the hips. Take breaths down to your belly. And then go ahead and bring your feet back to center. Let the toenails touch, elbows are out to the side. Bring your head up off of your hands and lengthen your spine and then place the head back down. Take an exhale. Inhale, lift your upper back away from your hands and away from the ground. You could push your arms into the ground when you do this. Exhale to lower. Inhale to rise. Exhale to lower. Inhale. Exhale. Then you're going to bring your forehead to the ground. The arms are to the side. The forehead touches the ground. The nose touches the ground. The elbows are at shoulder height. The palms are on the ground. Take an exhale. Inhale, lift your body up. Exhale to lower. Inhale to rise. Exhale to lower. Inhale. Exhale. One more. Inhale to rise. Exhale to lower. Let your forehead touch the ground. Inhale, let your hands come off the ground. Exhale to lower. Inhale, hands lift off the ground, lower arms lift off the ground, the whole arm lifts off the ground. Exhale to lower. So your forehead is touching the ground, the nose is touching the ground, and you're lifting your arms up and away from the ground. Exhale to lower, strengthening the back muscles. Last one, inhale and hold. And then let your arms rest. Fold your elbows, put your forehead on top of your hands. Bring your forehead back to the ground. Bring your hands alongside your body. Lift your arms off the ground. Exhale, bring your elbows down towards your waist. Inhale, reach the arms as far overhead as you can. Exhale, bring the elbows towards the waist. Imagine your hands are on a table and they're sliding up towards the wall away from you, and then exhaling towards your waist, strengthening the back. Inhale, let your hands rise. Exhale, let the elbows come closer to the waist. We need our back to hold us upright, to help us face life, live life, experience life. Strong back. Let your head be heavy. Let your torso be heavy. 2 more moves. Exhale, elbows come down towards the waist. Inhale, they slide up. Last one, finish. And then lift your hands, put them back on your underneath your head. Let your forehead rest. Take your legs wide. Wiggle your body back and forth, side to side. And then bend your legs. Let your legs go side to side. And then bring yourself back. Legs. You could kick the ground if you'd like the temper tantrum throwing 2-year-old that you used to be. And then go ahead, relax. Bring your arm up, roll onto your side. Then push yourself up and away. Let's fix our blanket to go up to the top of the mat. Let's bring yourself all the way down onto the ground. Let's take our strap, stretching our low back. Lots of back work today. Love the strap for stretching the low back and the glutes. So grab your strap, draw your knees in one at a time, and then put the strap around the arches of the feet. And then spread the legs. Hold on to your strap. Bring your feet so that they're above, like maybe the heart height or the lower ribs. And then draw the knees down towards the armpits. And draw the legs back towards the wall behind you. Stretching the low back, stretching the glutes. Keeping yourself turned on in your protection muscles here so we don't go crazy. Let your head roll side to side, letting everything settle. Take one more breath. And bring your feet back to center. Keep the knees bent. Draw the knees in towards the chest. Draw the legs back. Feel the whole rib cage stay on the ground. See if you could feel this, maybe behind the hamstrings, maybe behind the glutes. Your soles of your feet are pointing straight up towards the sky. So maintain that joint alignment in the ankles, the feet, the knees. See if you could feel that, maybe in the hamstrings, maybe in the glutes, maybe the low back, maybe the calves, maybe the front of the hips. And then take the strap off. Let's put our feet onto the ground, wider than the mat. Arms are out to the side like a scarecrow. And you're going to exhale. Inhale, slowly let your legs go to the left, your head go to the right. Exhale, press your belly button to your spine to come back up to center. And slowly inhale, legs go to the right, head goes to the left. Exhale, push your belly button to your spine to come back to center. So let this be very therapeutic. Let it be like a twisting stretch to release tension in the back. You're not trying to touch the floor with your legs. You're trying to allow the lower body to rotate in one direction, the upper body rotate in the other, and stretch your body and realign your spine. Counter movement for back bends. We did a lot of back bending today. Last one to each side. You're going to bring yourself back to center. Draw your knees into your chest. So we're going to come into Shavasana. If you have blankets or pillows, put them underneath your legs or go against a wall or a chair. Prop yourself up in a nice, relaxed position to allow the integration to be really nice and comfortable for you in your corpse pose, Shavasana. And if you do want to use a bolster or something, go ahead and get your other props that you're going to use. Bolster and pillows can be really nice for relaxing the back issues. And do whatever is appropriate for you. Find your nice relaxation posture. Gently begin to deepen your breath. Start to wiggle your fingers, your toes, your feet, your hands, your arms, your legs. Draw your legs into your chest, rocking side to side. Coming onto your side. Take your hand, press yourself up to seated. Bring your elbows underneath your shoulders and your hands together. Press your hands towards your chest, lengthen the back neck. We are going to hum and relax our body, relax ourselves with a molecule called nitric oxide that will be released during this humming vasodilator to get everything flowing. Nice and tall, mouth is closed. Take an exhale. Inhale deeply. In gratitude, thank you, namaste. So pay attention after today's class because there's a lot of back work being done, noticing how you feel, noticing how and modify according to these are what your needs are, and don't burn through too much of your fuel during your practice. You want to still be energized at the end of your practice and for the rest of the day. All right. Well, it's because I knew who was here today that I could do. So hopefully that was okay for you. I'm going to see you tomorrow with the sign up for my challenge. And otherwise, you could email me and say, please put me on that challenge list. And you'll be getting emails Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday next week. And then we'll be on Facebook. I'll be on Facebook just posting something every day for the challenge. You're welcome, Carol. Great. Stevie. Kathy, hello. Well, from everyone that says that they're here that I could see, I know that you're the strong, very, very strong, strong, strong people. So hopefully, you were able to do all of that. And then whoever's here that it wasn't appropriate for you, hopefully you modified. All right. Thank you so much. Have a beautiful day, and I'll see you. Yes, good, Sharon. All right. Thanks so much, everyone. I will see you when I see you. All right. Good, Sharon. Thank you. Bye, everyone.